Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Wednesday, March 10th. We're going to be talking some NBA DFS picks for today on both DraftKings and FanDuel. But before we get started, we're going to look way back about a week ago what our last picks were, how they kind of turned out. So this was back on March 4th. Point guard on DraftKings, we had Dennis Smith, $4,800, looking for about 24 points out of him. He ended up with 17.5. That was definitely a miss. Sheev Mikhailu, $3,100, looking for 16 points out of him. He got to 26.25. That was a big hit. Ken Bazemore, who was hot the night before, didn't end up in the starting lineup, $3,500. We're looking for about 18 points out of him. He got 7.75. That was a big miss. Robert Covington, $5,900, looking for about 29.30 out of him. He got 27, so that was a just miss. Then Nikolai Jokic, $10,900, looking for about 55 out of him. He got to 45.5, so that was a miss for sure. And then on the FanDuel side, Malcolm Brogdon, probably one of the hotter plays of the day, $6,700, only got to 19.2 points. That was a miss. Paul George, as many of us know, did not end up playing in that game, so he was a miss. I believe in cash lineups, it was like 68% of people played him, and in GPPs, it was like 45%, so it definitely knocked out about half the lineups. Then Bazemore missed once again on the FanDuel side as well. Isaiah Roby, he was $4,600, looking for 23 points out of him. He got to 26.2, so he was definitely a hit. And then last but not least, Mason Plumlee, $6,400, looking for 32 out of him. He got to 34.6, so he was a hit. So it wasn't the best day overall, some hit or miss there. Some guys that didn't end up starting or playing in that game, even with that Paul George case. So it definitely could have been a better day there, but we're back at it now after the All-Star break. It's a 2-game schedule today, so it's one that I'm going to be playing pretty light, and we're going to be going over to the injuries for today. So for the Wizards, Ish Smith's the only one out. And then on Memphis' side, Grayson Allen, Jaren Jackson Jr., they're both out once again. Then for the Spurs, just Devin Vassell's out, so that's something to definitely watch out for. It looks like everybody should be back, so there's not going to be a ton of value on that Spurs side. And then for the Mavericks, Terry is just a game-time decision. He really doesn't play anyway, so nothing too major there injury-wise. So that's a real quick rundown on it. If anything changes throughout the day, be sure to check the comments down below. I'll have all the news listed there. Then with that being said, we'll get moved over to the DraftKings side of my picks for today. So point guard position, Luka Doncic. He is $10,700, looking for about 54 fantasy points out of him. He's averaging 56 on the year, so pretty good sign there. Goes against the Spurs. Not a terrible matchup at all. He was a little bit banged up before the All-Star break. He did play in the All-Star game, so I'm not really concerned about him at all. Then at shooting guard, we have Dylan Brooks, $5,400, looking for 27 points out of him. That's just what he's averaging on the season. So as long as he has an average day, should be a pretty good play there. And he's coming off that monster game before the All-Star break. Maybe some people are a little bit point chasing there as well, but still a good play regardless. Then at small forward, we went with Justice Winslow, $3,900, looking for about 20 points out of him. That's about what he's averaging on the season, so pretty safe play there. Then at power forward, not the greatest options on the DraftKings side, so I went with Maxi Kleber, $4,300, a guy that's playing minutes, a guy that typically gets at least 20 points per game. Sometimes he'll have less, sometimes he'll have more. So he's averaging 19 on the season. You're looking for 21, 22 out of him. Definitely not out of the range of possibilities. And on a day like today where there's not a large player pool, there's not a lot of value, you're going to have some guys that you're playing that are not projected to have 5 times their value. And it's just kind of picking the right ones, and hopefully one of them gets over that value point. Then at that center position, we have Robin Lopez, $3,400. You're looking for about 17 out of him. He's averaging 16.4 on the season. He's been playing minutes. He's got a chance to get you 20. I think that's what you need on a day like today, a guy that's pretty cheap like him. And then a point per dollar play, he might be one of the best point per dollar plays in that lower price range today. So if you go with these 5 guys over on DraftKings, you'll have $22,300 left over. Definitely some room to pay up for some guys, maybe Russell Westbrook, a Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis, DeMar DeRozan, John Morant, DeJounte Murray, and Jonas Valanciunas. So those are the higher price guys today. If you go with this lineup, you can definitely afford at least 2 of them. And then we'll move over to the FanDuel side. We'll get talking over there a little bit. I think FanDuel is pretty straightforward today. And that's a reason I'm playing light on FanDuel, is because there's going to be a lot of similar lineups out there. I'm not going to lie. Something that was interesting on the FanDuel side is they did move Luka to small forward for today. Not sure if they're going to keep him there for a while or not, or if it was just because there wasn't that many small forwards available today. So just keep that in mind when you're building your lineups. But at point guard position, I went with Russell Westbrook. You're looking for $4,900 at that $9,800 price tag, averaging about 46 on the season. Honestly, at point guard, I want to pay up for him or Ja Morant, essentially. So take your pick there. I think Russell Westbrook's on a day like today, you're going to need some firepower like him. I think you can play him and Luka in the same lineup rather easily today. At shooting guard, we have Desmond Bane. This might be the best value on the slate. A guy that's getting minutes. If he shoots well, he's definitely going to pay off. That's the big caveat with him. They're looking for about 18 points out of him, averaging 16.5 essentially on the season. So he has those good games and he has those down games. So hopefully tonight is one of those good games. And I think a lot of people are going to be playing him, even though the projected ownership is not quite all the way there for him. Then at small forward, I have Dorian Finney-Smith. This is just essentially another minutes play. A guy that you're looking for 23 points out of him, averaging 20 on the season. Like I said, you're not going to have 5 times value guys at every single position in your lineup tonight. So you're going to go with some guys like him where you're going to get him minutes and hopefully you get quality minutes out of him tonight. Then at power forward, we want Kristaps Porzingis. Obviously, he's the highest priced power forward. Power forward is kind of yucky overall on FanDuel today. So I think paying up for him and then pairing him with somebody like a Maxi Kleber maybe could be a good strategy on FanDuel. Then on FanDuel, I did pay up at the center position. I think Jonas Valanciunas, a little bit better price tag over here. At $7,000, you're looking for him to get about 35 points. I'm projecting him for about 34. Definitely could have more, definitely could have less. So at the top end of the center position, he's the guy that I'm looking at. And then on FanDuel, you really only have 3 plays at center today, and it's Jonas Valanciunas, Jakob Poeltl, who I believe is around 6,000, and then Robin Lopez. So for me, it's either Valanciunas or Lopez on today. You could go all the way down if you want to take that risk with a Willie Cauley-Stein, a Dwight Powell, Alex Len. If you really want to try to get lucky, if you're playing a lot of lines, you can definitely do that, but it's not something that I'm too interested in doing today on a slate like this. But if you go with these 5 guys over on FanDuel, you'll have $26,800 left over, $6,700 per player. Like I said, you can definitely fit in a Luka Doncic, a Bradley Beal if you want to do so, and then find value elsewhere. Maybe you want to play DeMar DeRozan, DeJounte Murray, Ja Morant. There's definitely room and avenues to get to all these guys today on a short slate like this. You're just going to have to pay up for some guys and then try to find some value elsewhere. You might have to take a dart throw on some guys as well. So it should be a very interesting day. Like I said, it's a day that I wouldn't recommend playing too heavily on because there's not going to be too much differentiation between lineups. Even if you have the perfect lineup, the odds are on a 2-game slate like this, there's going to be multiple people with that same lineup. So you're not going to win that top prize if you're playing in GPP. I think cash games is going to be very interesting today because I think a lot of people are going to have the same lineup as well. So just keep that in mind as you're playing, as you're building your lineups for today. Then, as always, I'll be posting all the news and the starting lineups down in the comments below. If you guys have any questions at all regarding NBA DFS, especially for today's slate, be sure to leave them down there as well. I will be sure to answer each and every one of your questions that you guys do leave down there. But with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports. And that's really one for you, the viewers, helping you guys with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you guys with your fantasy football, covering all the different football news this off season. And then as we move forward into baseball, I'm going to be talking some fantasy baseball and some baseball news as well. Then if you are a new or current subscriber is yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I would do daily NBA DFS videos. I got the last bold predictions video for football coming out for the NFC East and the NFC South. That should be either done today or tomorrow. Definitely one that's going to be pretty interesting to see my bold predictions from the 2020 season, how they panned out. And then if you had any bold predictions of your own for the 2020 season, definitely would be interested in hearing what they were and how they turned out as well. But that's pretty much all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully you guys do very well in NBA DFS tonight. Like I said, it's a slate where you're going to want to play light. Don't invest too much money into a slate like this where it's a small 2-game slate and you're probably going to have like one no-name player or one dart throw like a Garrison Matthews or somebody that's probably not even look like a good value to start today. but that's probably going to be the differentiation point in some lineups. And it's just not a day that I'm comfortable putting too much money down on that. And then last but not least, once again, just want to thank you guys for checking this video out, taking the time out of your day to watch it. Definitely means a lot to me. Definitely appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day.